My physician's son and his attorney wife issued me an ultimatum. Hand over my $3.8 million house, or they deem me incompetent. You won't believe what my own son, the surgeon whose hands I once taught to tie his shoelaces, and his wife, the lawyer whose education I paid for, tried to do to me. They came to my home, the place I built with my late wife, with a folder. Inside, a choice: sign over my $3.8 million house, or they'd have me declared mentally incompetent. They saw an old man, a problem to be managed. What they didn't see was the auditor. And I was about to conduct my final review. It was a beautiful, gentle Sunday afternoon, the kind of September warmth that feels like summer's last loving embrace. I was out in the garden, on my knees, tending to Caroline's Carolyn roses, a deep, velvety red, their scent filling the entire yard. Each bloom was a testament to the 30 years we'd spent here, building a life from nothing, turning soil, pulling weeds. The cool, honest earth in my hands. Out here, the world just made sense. Then I heard it. A sound that absolutely did not belong. The crunch of expensive tires on my gravel drive. A sound of impatience, of assertion. I didn't even need to look up to know it was Daniel's silver German sedan, the kind that cost more than Caroline and I ever paid for our first house. I slowly got to my feet, wiping my hands on my trousers. Daniel and his wife Amelia stepped out. They weren't dressed for a Sunday visit. Daniel, in his crisp polo and tailored slacks, looked like he'd just left the country club. Amelia, in a sharp dark pantsuit, leather briefcase in hand, as if she'd come straight from a hostile negotiation. She was always dressed for battle, but I never, not in a million years, thought that battle would be with me. Dad, it wasn't a greeting. It was an announcement. There was no warmth, just a clinical assessment. You shouldn't be doing that kind of work. You could fall. I just stared at him. I've been gardening for 40 years, Daniel. I think I know how to stand up, I replied, my voice flat. Amelia stepped forward, her heels sinking slightly into the soft lawn. Her eyes weren't seeing the climbing roses or the ancient oak. They were calculating square footage, property value. Robert, she began, using my first name as she always did. A subtle power play to establish herself as an equal, not a daughter-in-law. We need to talk about some logistical streamlining. We've been running the numbers, and the upkeep on a property this size for one person is, well, it's fiscally irresponsible. Fiscally irresponsible. The words hung in the air, cold and sharp. They had taken the sanctuary Caroline and I had built, our home, and reduced it to a line item on a spreadsheet. The house is paid for, Amelia. It has been for 20 years, I said, walking towards the stone patio. I didn't invite them in. Daniel followed, placing a hand on my shoulder. His touch felt proprietary, like a doctor examining a patient without consent. Dad, it's not just about the money. We've been worried. We've noticed a certain cognitive latency in our recent calls. It's about mitigating risk factors. At your age, living alone, he let the sentence hang. The unspoken words, dementia, incompetence, helplessness, they drifted in the full story video added in below.